It's just before 7 a.m. here in Las Vegas, and it's time for the WagerTalk opening line report. Teddy covers breaking down the world of sports betting for you on this Friday. What is it, May 3rd, 2024. Let's talk about where the money's going, why it's going in that direction, and of course, where we can expect it to go from here. We'll start in the association, NBA, for a Friday night. Take a look at Orlando and Cleveland. And this line, it opened 3.5 for Orlando. It's pretty much 4 across the board right now. So we have seen a little bit of magic money. The interesting thing here is with the total. All right. And I got this one wrong yesterday. Five-star big ticket loser. Awful. And it was the wrong side with the Knicks and the Sixers under the total. That total got bet down. And then in early betting action yesterday, it got bet back up. And boy, the guys who bet at second were right. I was wrong with expecting a low-scoring game. So let's talk about that when it comes to this Cleveland-Orlando game. And again, yesterday was yesterday, today is today. Nonetheless, we tend to see game 5s, 6s, and 7s in the NBA playoffs. They tend to attract under money. And long-term, they've all gone under the total. They've all trended in the 60% range plus to the under. Games 5, 6s, and 7s of NBA playoff series. As the playoffs progress, as you get to the second round and third round, it gets even stronger. But still, if you're talking about blindly playing game 6s under, you're talking about a 60% long-term betting proposition. So what's happening with Cleveland Orlando? We saw some under money. Now we're seeing over money. All right, this was down. It opened 202, 20 even as high as 203. Got bet down 199.5. Now this morning I'm seeing 200, 200.5, 201. So we are seeing over money pop up for this Cleveland-Orlando game in a situation where we would expect to see under money. So a little bit of over money showing here and a little bit of magic money. In the late game tonight, the Clippers and the Mavericks, 7.5, 8. It's really a split line right now. If you want to lay 7.5, you can do so. If you want to catch 8. And again, anytime we're talking about a split line, that's your best scenario for a bettor. It really is. Because if you want the favorite, you're getting a half point better of it. You want the dog, you're getting a half point the better of it. And as long as you have multiple outs, and I always say, one of the reasons I moved to Nevada and here in Las Vegas is so that I could bet everywhere. And I didn't have any issues with that. You have many outs. I know folks out there, a lot of folks have 1 account, 2 accounts. The more accounts you have, the more free half points you get. It's just that simple. So if you have $100 in 1 account, I always say split it. Put $50 into 2. Put $25 into 4. It doesn't matter how big your bankroll is. You're better off having the situation where you can shop for the best number without having to ever buy a half point. So anyhow, that's what's going on with Cleveland, Orlando, Clippers, and Mavs for Friday night. And really, we're not seeing a whole lot of action for that Dallas. The total hasn't moved at all for Dallas, LA. That game has seen light betting action so far. Of course, when it comes to the injury status there, worth paying attention to. Kawhi is downgraded to out, so we're not likely to see a move based on his status for this evening. I do want to let you guys know about a special offer before we talk a little weekend NBA and talk about some of these series prices. But look, we had a great response to the buy MLB through the All-Star break. Buy MLB through the All-Star break, get my NBA playoffs for free. Great response. We decided to extend it. Another day, one day. Take advantage of this today only. But if you want to get on board, the MLB's been great. 31-17, I believe, MLB run. And of course, the NBA 8-1 the last 9. 58% dating back to 2022. 60% since November. I did lose last night, but I'm not expecting any long-term struggles in the NBA moving forward. So you can take advantage of this offer right now. Just visit my page, wt.buzz/TC. That's the Teddy Covers homepage over at WagerTalk.com. All right, let's take a look at what else we have going for the weekend. Minnesota, Denver on Saturday. Right now, that line really hasn't done a whole lot. Still sitting at 4. There is a 4.5 that popped up at a leading indicator book. That line's basically been 4.5 the whole way. There were some 5s at the open. Haven't seen much. They got bet down and haven't seen any since. From a total standpoint, 207.5, 208 really hasn't moved a whole lot. Nothing doing for Saturday's game. And then, of course, we look at Indiana and the Knicks for Monday in the Eastern Conference semifinals. And this one, Knicks opened 6.5, pretty much across the board. They've been bet down to 6. So the first money has come for the Pacers. Total 215.5, 216. Hasn't moved much just yet. And of course, series price wise, there's nothing doing right now. Magic are 3-1 dogs to win the series, and the Clippers in the 5-1. Really plus 525, plus 530 on LA. And again, when you talk about a 2-game series, which these would be if they came to win, you're not going to see much difference between the series price for the underdog and if you bet them on the money line in every game. So with 2 games left, if you want the dog, you think the dog's going to win them both, you can take your plus price with the Teddy Covers seal of approval. Hey, look, I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the follow. We've had some really good responses. I mean, Constantine, Good Guys Media, Wes, FDA Seth, Travis John, Daniel Wheels, Coom Tom, Raymond Barlow, Get Right 201, Austin Snow, John Paul Railing, Sweatshop, Kip Corin, Roger Long, Sammy P, Paul Da Silva, Roll One Up Son, Renisha Brown, Bro Mike, Terrence Haller, and Big 6088, Andrew Wojcik, and everybody else who's commented over the last couple days. Thank you. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the likes. And of course, let us know in the comments below what you want to see, who you're taking tonight. Appreciate it very, very much. All right, we had that crazy run of unders on Wednesday in MLB. On Thursday, it was a light card. We look at what's happening this morning in the baseball action. Well, let's see. Colorado, Pittsburgh, we're seeing under money there. No surprise. Sorry, we're seeing over money there, which is a surprise to me. They hate Quantrill. They're betting against Quantrill every time, but you're not catching me betting a Pirates game over right now. That team is ice cold offensively. Nonetheless, the markets have moved up 8.5 for Colorado, Pittsburgh. That was at 8 earlier this morning. We're seeing a little bit of over money for San Diego, Arizona. I believe the roof is open in Arizona. And that's one thing to check every time you're betting a total at Chase Field. When the roof's open, the ball tends to carry. When the roof is closed, doesn't carry quite so much. So roof open, good for overs. We are seeing some over money for San Diego and Arizona. We're seeing some under money for the Tigers and Yankees today. A pitching matchup that has attracted some attention, even though Stroman has been iffy this year. We've seen under money for the Angels and Cleveland as well. And again, we talk about these baseball moves. It's mostly totals when you talk about the overnight markets. The markets will give you a hint where they're going. And obviously here we're seeing a lot of totals money. Under money also for Washington and Toronto. Kikuchi and Corbin. Corbin's actually pitched a little bit better of late after being one of the weaker pitchers in baseball. One more worth noting, and this is definitely worth noting. The Oakland A's taking money as the favorite today against Miami. The A's have been a major moneymaker for their backers in recent weeks, and they're as high as minus 140 now, which I believe is the highest I've seen Oakland all year long. That's what I got for today, guys. Again, check out the page, wt.buzz/TC, to get any of my packages at WagerTalk.com. And don't just look at me. There's lots of strong handicappers, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of guys that are really hot right now. Check out the website. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the games, and best of luck with all your wagers on Friday and this weekend. We'll be back again Monday with another edition of the WagerTalk Opening Line Report. Cheers.